They're living on these ranches, they are working with their fathers, they handle the horses, and why can't they compete? And they see themselves on the ranches doing just as much as the men. Why can't they do that in the rodeo as well?
And so these girls were riding astride, and that was very, very, the proper ladies didn't think much of that. And that alone, the fact that these women were riding astride and were wearing clothes that were a little different, was really a mark of a cowgirl. And any girl that would get herself into that garb was beyond the pale. The proper ladies didn't approve.
Some other scholars had said, well, it was when Bonnie McCarroll was killed in Pendleton that really signaled the end of women competing. But if you look at the press, you see that tide turned a number of years earlier. And with Bonnie McCarroll, it was sort of, that was the excuse they needed to say no more.
The way things fell, and of course, like I said, Bonnie was just so famous that they were able to use that to their advantage to get rid of an event. Anytime you cut out a woman's event, you got room for another men's event and more money for the cowboys.
Without realizing the consequences, the Pendleton Rodeo Committee had inadvertently opened the door for a cowgirl to potentially take the crown of all-around cowboy from the men. For Bertha and the rest of the cowgirls, this was a chance to truly display their talents. It came down to the wire between Bertha Blancett and an Oklahoma cowboy named Sam Garrett. But during the cowgirls' relay race, Bertha's horse jumped the fence, which cost her dearly. Bertha ended up with a total of 52 points. Sam Garrett had 55. Bertha had missed out on the title of all-around cowboy by just 4 points. Over the winter, the Pendleton Rodeo Committee decided to change the qualifications for winning the all-around title. They determined that a cowgirl could come in second place and win a set of custom spurs and bit, but only a cowboy could win the all-around championship of the world, gold and silver belt, presented by the Police Gazette and valued at $100. The Pendleton Roundup Committee also informed the cowgirls that the cowgirls' bucking competition had been eliminated in favor of daily exhibition rides. An editorial in the East Oregonian addressed the Roundup Committee's decision by explaining that because women now swim the English Channel and they can ride and rope about as well and as swiftly as can any man who ever walked, hence they do not require nor do they desire the same degree of attentiveness they received in the days when the Roundup was young. With women no longer truly competing inside the rodeo arena, the Roundup Committee could focus on correcting the poor animal rights image that had come to be associated with the rodeo.
Oh, I found out what was going on. The Pendleton Committee made her do it.
The pickup men let out Black Cat, with Bonnie's saddle on its back, and her stirrups hobbled. Hobbled stirrups were a new requirement for women competing in the Pendleton Rodeo.
But she was hired as a contract performer. And as a contract performer, you have to do what they want you to do. You don't have a choice. And she had no experience riding hobble because she never did. I never met one champion woman bronc rider that ever rode that way.